This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Monday, March 10th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. For a few weeks each year, hundreds of thousands of people enjoy elephant ears, learn about livestock, and view 4-H projects at the Indiana State Fair. But the 250-acre Indiana State Fairgrounds property is becoming a year-round destination for competitions, entertainment, and showcases. That includes this weekend's NCAA Division II Track and Field Championship at the Fall Creek Pavilion. Chief Marketing and Sales Officer Anna Welchel.
We're always evolving, and how can we drive more economic impact for this fairgrounds and also for this city and state? So track and field is a great new example. We identified when we renovated this building, first and foremost, it was built as a world-class pig and swine facility for the Indiana State Fair, which is what a lot of people know it for. But then we also are hosting indoor track and field from December through March every year.
Also this week, the Horizon League basketball championships will tip off at Corteva Coliseum. The Riley Children's Foundation on Saturday officially launched a $300 million campaign, the largest fundraising drive in Riley Children's health history. The formal announcement of the effort comes after the Riley Foundation said it quietly raised the majority, more than $200 million, in the campaign's initial phase. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
Notre Dame is under a hiring freeze for non-teaching positions as of Friday as the university keeps tabs on cuts to federal education programs and stipends. IIB's Marek Mazurek has more.
In an email sent to members of the Notre Dame community on Friday, the university says it has been following policy changes coming to federal agencies by the order of the Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency. The email cites the cancellation of numerous federal grants and diminished reimbursement for others by the National Institutes of Health as factors that led to the university's hiring freeze. The message also mentions a bill filed in Congress that, if passed, would increase the excise tax on private university endowments from its current 1.4% to 21%, which is the corporate tax rate. Notre Dame reported its endowment at the end of the 2024-25 fiscal year to be approximately $20 billion. The university says the hiring freeze will only affect non-teaching positions. The university is also asking departments to cut back spending and identify 5% budget reductions that could be implemented if, quote, the financial impact of government actions should be significantly more dramatic, end quote. A Notre Dame spokesman on Friday said no university representatives were available for an interview. Notre Dame now joins a growing number of research institutions to announce hiring freezes or spending pauses. Some universities around the country have also made cuts to graduate science programs and have rescinded acceptance letters to incoming researchers amid cuts to the NIH. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Indiana Supreme Court has disciplined an Evansville attorney for misconduct after he allegedly failed to protect the interests of a client he was representing in a property dispute case. The court ordered a 90-day suspension for Brian Oberst, with 30 days actively served and the remainder stayed, subject to completing at least 2 years probation under a mandatory monitoring agreement by the Indiana Judges and Lawyers Assistance Program. His suspension begins April 17th. Bipartisan momentum continued last week for a bill that seeks to hold Indiana sheriffs more accountable for managing jail funds. House Bill 1208, authored by Republican State Representative Gregory Steuerwald of Avon, would increase the oversight over a county jail's commissary fund, requiring the State Board of Accounts to create training requirements for the sheriffs responsible for their county's fund. The bill also requires sheriff's offices to report receipts and disbursements from the fund to the county fiscal body at least 4 times per year. Current law only requires the sheriff to provide those records semi-annually. Larry Hall, the chief curator of the Jim Irsay Collection, is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.